Hello, great heroes of the Alliance and Imperial Dogs. This is Marcus reporting from Home 1. Today I would like to give you some information about the Star Wars vehicles, and to start I chose the Y-Wing. The reason for this is the Y-Wing is my favorite Star Wars craft, and there is a lot of misinformation in the internet and everywhere actually. So I would like to clear that. Now, a lot of games and merchandise shows us that the Y-Wings are slow and ungainly fighters, but when the Y-Wing was first designed, this was not the case. First of all, the Alliance uses the Y-Wings not because they are only excessive materials from the Clone Wars, but the Y-Wings are actually a very rugged and tested and true design. The Y-Wing has extensive hull armor and shielding. It's one of the sturdiest crafts ever built, and it was for me the greatest craft employed by the Republic. It was a thorn in many Confederate ships' side. The Rebellion employed Y-Wings because they were very versatile. They had their armaments included two frontal laser cannons, an ion cannon turret, two proton torpedo launchers, and a bomb bay. This can be omitted in most cases, but they can be added too. The Y-Wings fit a lot of mission profiles, but they were best suited for assault missions, as they were an assault craft. They were intended to fight to their target and deliver their payload and then return and fight their way back, because they could manage it. Unlike TIE fighters and X-Wings and A-Wings, they could withstand most of the enemy fire. First of all, the Y-Wings are not old or weak as it is made to look like because of the popular culture, let's say. First of all, the Y-Wings were the Republic's symbol because a lot of veteran Republic pilots who defected to Alliance used Y-Wings because they were employed by the Republic and they were a very versatile craft. Their extensive shielding and hull plating allowed it to fight with fighters and capital ships alike. Now, its main drawback is it's not maneuverable. That's true, but this does not mean that it cannot dogfight. Now, up until the defection of Incom scientists, the Rebellion used Y-Wings primarily. Even considering the Z-95 availability, they still employed Y-Wings because they were perfect for raid missions. They could attack capital ships and dogfight if necessary and get out with its strong hyperdrives. The X-Wings were more maneuverable than the Y-Wings, but they were not great for assault missions because they couldn't withstand the heavy fire coming from the capital ships and enemy fighters. But I would like to correct this information. The Y-Wings could dogfight as long as it was necessary, and they were more than capable of taking out TIE fighters. The TIE interceptors proved troublesome, of course, but it was not a problem. Now, today I would like to show you me piloting a Y-Wing while talking about the Y-Wing itself. So, if you feel you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section. And here we go, Gold 5 taking off.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Attention, scramble fighters. Repeat, scramble fighters.
Y-Wing's design is really beautiful. I really like it, and especially the one in the Clone Wars. It looks quite sleek and simply made to be beautiful. Because of the engine's locations, the Y-Wing's maneuverability suffers a little bit, and also it carries lots of armaments. This is quite heavy. Just a second. I would like to check out something here. Yes. I want to take down the speech volume. Now this should be better.
They're all over!
Take out the TIE interceptor.
Now the torpedo launchers located in the Y-wing, they were quite versatile. They could be equipped with ion torpedoes and proton torpedoes, and there were lots more they could take in. This gave it a real strong mission profile. It could take out or face anything it wanted.
Interceptor behind you.
An earlier model of the Y-wing, the BTL S3, it had a rotating turret, 360 degrees. The ion cannon in this model could easily attack the fighters pursuing the Y-wing. So, in most cases, it was a very difficult aspect to pursue Y-wings. However, some squadrons in the
side.
Rebel Alliance, like the Gold Squadron, used the A4 model because they wanted the turret to face front, and apparently this made the craft, they modified the craft to be a little bit faster, but their shields suffered. So, contrary to the popular information, the main Y-wings used by the Alliance is not A4 but S3 with the third model, with a accompanying gunner in the craft. The turrets allowed Y-wings to be quite dangerous because not only the pursuing craft, but the gunner could attack the enemy capital ships and the fighters around it too.
Interceptor, don't let him get away.
Also, contrary to popular information, the Y-wings are only slightly slower compared to X-wings. Their maneuverability lacked, that's true, but they were not as slow as they were deemed to be.
There's a bomber on your tail.
With their deflector shields on, the Y-wings could easily catch up to X-wings, and at some points even TIE interceptors, and as we see in the Return of the Jedi, a Y-wing destroying two TIE interceptors.
Look out, bomber on your tail.
The Y-wings were true workhorses employed by the Rebel Alliance because
Got him on the run!
they were useful in most situations and they were tested and true design. The Rebellion lost more Y-wings than any other craft because the reason is very simple, because they used Y-wings more than anything. The versatility of the Y-Wing allows for an expert pilot to do more than your conventional space superiority fighters. Its armaments, options, the weapon configuration, it can all be changed. Like you can, for example, some pilots change their ion cannons with blaster cannons. You could see them in Battlefront 1. These fighters were very difficult to target by other fighters because their blaster cannons made it very difficult to
They're all
approach.
over!
Chase down that tie! TIE bomber, behind you! TIE fighter coming in fast!
Alright, I will go for the enemy's critical systems now. This is Gold 5, I'm going in.
I can't see. Oh, wait, never mind. TIE interceptor.
Medic!
As I said, Y-Wings are more than capable of dealing TIE fighters. They were not very effective at it, but they could do it, definitely.
He's trying to get a lock.
This is tense. Now I should go for the engines.
Our shields have been disabled.
Oh no. Oh wait,
Time for some fancy flying.
the bridge too. Just went right through.
TIE bomber. Don't let that shuttle land.
I just want some justice done to my favorite fighter in Star Wars because they're not
They're all over!
They fit in the
so
barn.
bad as they're made out to be. Oh well, that took shorter than I thought. So, to sum it up, I will give you some additional information about Y-Wings. As you told, talked about, its advantages were its heavy hull plating, shield, extensive ordnance it could take, forward-facing laser cannons, ion cannons, and it was fast for a bomber. As you know, what the R2 did in Clone Wars with an Y-wing, because it can do it. It's not that weak. It's certainly not as maneuverable as X-wings and TIE fighters, especially, but they're not that weak. I just want to correct this information. And their intended replacement, the B-wings, they were extremely difficult to pilot because of the gyro cockpit. It was a very special system, let's say. It allowed its body to rotate, and also its hull plating was not as strong as the Y-wing. So if you notice that most squadrons continued using Y-wings even after B-wings supposedly replaced the Y-wings, because it was so much easier to pilot and it was so versatile, and it was actually faster than a B-wing too, and more maneuverable, if that's possible. Yeah. So if you have any other information you wish to seek about Y-wings or any other vehicle in Star Wars, I would be happy to oblige, because Star Wars is my favorite thing, like as a sci-fi fan, and I just enjoy to talk about fighters, bombers, and everything, all the crafts, like the especially capital ships, I would like to add. So if you want to know anything about any Star Wars vehicle, or actually any vehicle for that matter, I would be more than happy to help. This is Marcus signing off.